A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the CBC Evening News. And our top story, scores of workers from the engineering, security departments and custodians of the Grantley Adams International Airport stepped up their protest action today. Waving placards and carrying signs, the workers protested outstanding pay increases earlier this morning outside the airport. GAIA shop steward David Durant says at least half of its 400 staff were involved in the action. He also broke down the amounts the workers are requesting.
That was a 16% that we were asking for. Negotiation rate would be 6% for 2015, 5% for 2016, and 5% coming on to 2017 as well. Now you have the case where we've got that going into the company. The board has accepted it, it's taken it to government, and the government seems now to want to tell us that it's right for them to say, no, we have to be tied to the public service, and we have a problem with that. You can't tie us to the public service. No, why won't we tie to the public service all the time?
Well, the workers were joined by representatives from the NUPW, including President Akani McDowell and General Secretary Rosalind Smith. Ms. Smith says today's protest is the first stage of action which the union will embark on until talks resume.
Depend on the momentum. It will be just for a few hours, and that would be the first stage within this activity.
Is it the first stage? How many more stages do we have?
Well, given the way that government is responding, very slow to matters, I do not know exactly how soon the talks will begin, and therefore the workers will be working through until we can bring the negotiators to the table.
Meantime, some of the 190 returning nationals and members of the Barbados Association of Central Florida had mixed views on the action taken by the workers. They arrived at the Grantley Adams International Airport this afternoon and will be participating in several independence activities in the coming days.
I think it's ridiculous, and the reasons why they're doing it don't make any sense. They all need to be fired as far as I'm concerned.
It's sad to say, because for the amount of tourists and guests that comes through the airport, I think that they should have no right at all, no reason to be doing that.
This is the first interaction with Barbados coming through the airport, so seeing a smile on their face is pretty much a smile of the country before we enter the country. So fair wages for the workers.
Sabotage, that's what the principal of Combermere School is calling two recent attempts to disrupt the school. The revelation was made during a meeting to update parents and guardians of students of Combermere of ongoing work to address the environmental issues plaguing the Waterford St. Michael institution. Kishmar St. reports.
According to Principal Ver Paris, the discoveries were made recently and he has pictures. In one case, a septic tank cover was found ajar, and the other, a 4-inch cap broken from a pipe. Mr. Paris has condemned the acts. The necessary repairs have since been made.
It was not unscrewed and left, it was deliberately broken off. And the cap was nowhere to be found in the vicinity. Those are two acts that occurred which deliberately impacted the school and caused this sudden rash of complaints that ended up with us having to close school temporarily to deal with these issues.
Classes at the Combermere School are likely to resume upon completion of ongoing work. That work entails placing traps where there were none, sealing manholes and wells, along with grease straps. The Ministry of Education will also have to meet with the representing teachers union.
That can be within days. It is not my decision to make, and you must understand it is not my decision to make. We are ensuring that all that has to be done is done, and it will be eventually the decision of the Ministry of Education to make. In the meantime, the staff is endeavoring to continue instruction with your students, with your children, our students. And there are a number of measures that they have met in departments, and they are trying to ensure that they can reach as many students as possible starting particularly with those classes that are the external exam classes.
Principal Paris says he has not sat idly by and let the problems persist at the Commonwealth School.
But we took action as principal. I sought to engage the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Labor, and subsequently the Ministry of Health. These actions resulted in a response from the Ministry of Education. We engaged the REA, EnviroHealth International, to do a study of the environment in the school.
Trevor Blackman of the Ministry of Labour believes sewer gas is to blame.
And it was on one occasion when that test was being conducted by the officers of the public health section through their fogging, that the holes and the cracks and some other compromising situations the principal spoke of earlier were identified. Now, when we learned that a hole was dug in the kitchenette and that sewer gases were entering the room, it made sense.
The Commonwealth School was also affected by the clearing of land near acacia trees and some bad practices such as the burning of refuse and the use of strong chemicals for pests by some neighboring households. Kishma Senjis, CBC News.
Well, this story just in, there appears to be a major split in the executive ranks of the National Union of Public Workers over the handling of ongoing industrial action at the island's ports of entry. First, Vice President of the NUPW, Joyanne Innes, this evening publicly expressed her disappointment with the methods being used in the union's ongoing action. She is also expressing concern that some members of the executive are not being informed about key decisions that are being made in relation to the action.
These decisions that are being made in relation to industrial action was not discussed with the full executive of the National Union of Public Workers and the National Council. After certain discussion that would have been occurred, we were not informed as to what would be the next step. In addition, we think for some of our members, we think the behavior of some members of our executive has indeed proven to be reckless, and I'm stating this because at the end of the day we are compromising not only our membership but all plans or negotiations that we may have had in the future.
Well, coming up, an update on that human chain link planned for Monday. Stay with us.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points, so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply today. Call 426-7000 or visit your nearest branch.
Across these fields and hills to the open sea. If ever I'm lost, I know you'll be there for me. Like a sunrise in my eyes, there's no other place I'd rather be. This is my home.
Over 70,000 people have already registered for the One People, One Barbados Human Chain Link. That event is set to come off this Monday, November 28th across the island. Now, speaking to CBC earlier today, Chief Education Officer Karen Best said that approximately 20,000 more persons are required to fill the spaces in that link.
The one aspect of the chain link that we are still trying to make sure that we tie down is getting persons in the eastern corridor of Barbados. And that is areas like St. Joseph, St. John, St. Philip. St. Michael, as we expected and predicted, is full.
And today the ministry held a motorcade throughout the city to promote that link. Mrs. Bass is also assuring parents their children will be safe during the activity.
Let me say to the parents that we have all systems in place, and your children are going to be safe on that day. We have the police, we have the security guards from the government security, and we also have the Barbados Defense Force, members of the Barbados Defense Force.
And all marshals involved in the link are also reminded of the meeting tomorrow morning at 10 at the Prince Cave Hall. Well, with only a few days remaining before Barbados' Golden Jubilee, preparations are in full gear for the celebrations. A CBC team visited the Graydon Sealy Secondary School today as teachers and students made sure that they were well outfitted to take part in the upcoming Human Chain Link. This Monday, the 28th of November, thousands will assemble along the designated route for the Human Chain Link around Barbados. Among those joining hands in a symbolic show of unity will be members of the Graydon Sealy Secondary School. The staff and students will be proudly wearing these T-shirts, specially donated by the United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF. Adolescent and HIV/AIDS specialist at UNICEF, Elaine King, says participating in events like this are important for students.
It's not only going out there on Monday for them to wear the shirts and be part of the chain link, but to understand what it means to be independent, what it means to live in an independent country, what it means to be independent as an individual, to be independent thinkers, and to understand their role in ensuring that Barbados continues to thrive and prosper. Therefore, we are really happy to be part of this wider celebration and particularly to collaborate with the Graydon Sealy School in this regard.
And of course, the mood is one of excitement to be participating in such an historic event among the students.
I'm really excited to see that we, for the 50th independence, that we're participating in the Barbados Chain Link, and it's a really good time. I love it.
I'm very excited because it's 50 years and I am glad to be here to celebrate 50 years, and my whole family is doing it. My mom told me it would be a good experience. I said I will go, and I'm very excited to go with my school.
And also among the staff.
I'm going to be there. I'm very proud to be there, to be a part of this event. I mean, we haven't done it for a very long time, and I'm hoping that all of Barbados comes out and supports, and we have a nice long link all the way around the island.
So make sure and keep an eye out for the Graydon Sealy students and staff as they stand in unity for Barbados. And still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across our region. But first, here is a tip now from the Coverley Medical Center.